Football night in Riverside, a special Thursday night edition. We are on the corner of Van Buren and Wood, the home of the Wolves, as Martin Luther King High School takes on Murrieta Valley and the Nighthawks. Alongside Jeff Gora, my name is Ghazal Hassan, and Jeff, your buddy Jason McMain's been doing a little bit of shuffling at quarterback and on the offensive and defensive lines. But a month into the season, here stand the Wolves at 4-0. It's going to be a tough matchup here against Murrieta Valley. What do they need to do to keep going? They're 4-0 this year. Their best start in school history was 6-0 back in 2013. Can they keep it going?
I think they can. I'll tell you what, they just have to play to the level of their competition. They've shown it for 4 straight games so far this early season, but they have a tough one tonight.
All right, we look over at the Nighthawks of Murrieta Valley. So the big story is no Bear Bachmeier. But if you look at it, they're still a very formidable team. They're 2-1. Their one loss came against Servite out of the Trinity League. You look at their offense, Jeff, it's like an 80s Converse commercial. Weapons everywhere. And then on the defensive side, they got 6 starters back from last year's team, which made the CIF Division II semifinal before bound to Mission Viejo. Could this team maybe pose a challenge to Centennial in that Big West upper division?
Well, I think if you have Bear Bachmeier, you win the whole darn thing. I think they are that good. But I'll tell you what, they've got a freshman quarterback that can throw the football a little bit like Bear Bachmeier, a little younger to say. But I'll tell you what, they have weapons all around, and I tell you, they are very, very good.
What will we hear tonight? Will it be the call of the Nighthawk or the howl of the Wolf? It's King coming up against Murrieta Valley, the CIF on Riverside TV. Welcome back. Van Buren and Wood, Martin Luther King High School. It's a Hall of Fame Thursday, Jeff. You didn't tell me that.
I just found out myself, but our dear friend John Corona's going in. He is a staple here at Martin Luther King.
He came on the air with you last weekend when we were at Wheelock and to talk about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he runs the Special Olympics run through here at Martin Luther King with the track program, and he's getting his due. He's part of the Arlington Hall of Fame, I believe, and now part of the Martin Luther King Hall of Fame. He is a Hall of Famer all around.
Well, here come the Wolves to take on Murrieta Valley, and the Nighthawks are part of that Big West upper. They're in the same league. Kind of when they merged the Big 8 and the Southwestern League, they're in the upper part that entails having them with Centennial and with Norco, and them and Chaparral really battled for that number 2 spot last year. Ultimately, Chaparral got it, but they still made a nice run in the Division II playoffs.
Yeah, and this Murrieta Valley team coming into the season, I really thought that this could be the year, and it still could be. They could be the team to uphand Centennial. They do have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. He is not playing tonight, but I'll tell you what, they are deep at every single position. Looking forward to watching them play against our
very good special teams as well. They'll pooch it as a result, meaning King, a little bit of a loose ball, and it'll be recovered at the 33-yard line. That's where Murrieta Valley will start it off. And as you mentioned, we mentioned in the open, no Bear Bachmeier today. Disappointing. Obviously wanted to see the young man play. He's already committed to Stanford for next year. But we'll get a look at the offense for Murrieta Valley. They come in at 2-1 on the year, and we'll see their freshman quarterback, Ty Isaiah. He was 13 of 20 on the season last year in a win 42-0 over Murrieta Mesa. He completed 12 of 18 for 186 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they've had some good luck at this school with freshman quarterbacks, have they not, Jeff?
Oh, they've had some great ones, and this kid can throw the football. Talking to the assistant coaches here tonight, they say he's a lot like Bear Bachmeier, but he's just a freshman. So he's a little guy, but he can throw the football, has the same characteristics of Bear.
Hose up to the 39, and they like him. Hose is a very strong runner. Last year, almost 1,500 yards, averaging 6.5 yards a pop. Already has 6 touchdowns on the ground this year, bringing up second down. They can do a lot of things on offense, meaning the Nighthawks. They'll turn and give to Bose. And up over the 45, they'll mark him to the 47-yard line, another 8-yard pickup and a first down. When I talked to Jason McMains, he was raving about their offensive line. They got a Michigan State commit in Andrew Nichols. Their left tackle, Elishai Fa'amatu Ayanu, he's got a bunch of offers to go play at the next level.
Well, you look at them. They're all my size. They're all 6'8", 285, big guys.
From the 47, first down. Quick throw to the outside, complete to Derek Johnson, Jr., and he'll get up, maybe step out of bounds to the 39-yard line.
Hey, his name sounds familiar.
Yeah, a former head coach of Notre Dame, and his son playing a little wide receiver. He'll play some defensive back as well. So they mark him, in fact, instead up to the 41, stepped out of bounds to the 41-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup on the play. That'll be enough for a first down. Had a good talk with Coach, now the defensive coordinator for George Wilson. Hose, angling left. Kaleo Brown brings him down as he crosses the 35.
We're going to hear Kaleo Brown's number quite a bit tonight. We've seen, I think this is our third game we've had King this season.
Third or second? Maybe you had him. I didn't have him. We were supposed to have him 3 times. We flexed out of the one against North.
Oh, that's right. So just twice. We've been doing so many darn games. In fact, we have 4 this weekend, Gazal. We have tonight. We have tomorrow versus the big Solar Series between Ramona and Poly, the rematch of the CIF Championship. And then our secondary game will be Riverside Norte Vista versus Granite Hills. And then Saturday, a CSDR matchup with California School for the, or Maryland School for the Deaf.
6th play of the drive. They've moved all the way to the 29-yard line. Here's Hose right up the middle. Hose veers to close to a first down. Let's see where they mark him. Looks like they're going to mark him short. He'll get to the 21-yard line. So Hose already 4 carries, 28 yards, averaging 7 yards a pop, just a tick above his average on the season. And I was talking to Tony Moskal, who had their opening game against Retro Cucamonga, and he said, hey, that number 5 is just a horse. He is hard to bring down, strong runner, good instincts, good balance, and when he gets in the open field, look out. So 8-yard pickup to the 21, second down. They'll feed Hose again. This time he'll run left. First down inside the 10. Riker Galvin combining on the stop with Aaron Porter. So mark that down to the 9-yard line.
Boy, just look at the big offensive line. I mean, he's got holes I could run through, for gosh sakes.
So first and goal from the 9. The big boys up front, they've really had the advantage here on this first series, Jeff. Hose, touchdown. He does most of the heavy lifting. 6 carries on the drive. He is to pay dirt. Very efficient first drive for the Nighthawks of Murrieta Valley.
Yeah, only 1 throw in that series and everything else on the ground. And I'll tell you what, if you are King, you got to realize they're going to try to tire you out, that defensive line, and come second half, they're going to have to really, really get after it, because that's a pounding when you see the size of that offensive line.
PAT coming up. It is up and it is good. Kicking it through is Nathan Levitt, who played a little defense last year against King, but the special teams guy this year. And coming off the win last week against Murrieta Mesa. Now, Murrieta Mesa, of course, is in the Big West Lower with King. So that's a good measuring stick for the Wolves to look at. Hey, can we compete with these guys the same way or better than Murrieta Mesa did? I mean, I lost 42-0. Last year they did compete with Murrieta Valley. It was a closer game till the fourth quarter, and late in the game the Nighthawks were able to pull away. But King held their own. They acquitted themselves pretty well on the road last year. That was a very impressive first drive. You see Hose finish it off.
I remember all the Bachmeyers. You had Hank Bachmeyer, who was a great quarterback at Paloma Valley.
Yep.
And you had Tiger, who's the receiver up at Stanford.
And the younger brother, Bear, is going to head up to Stanford as well. And Levitt earns the touchback. And so it'll be first opportunity for Coach McBains to match wits against defensive coordinator Derek Johnson for Marietta Valley. We know him well. We covered him back when Notre Dame was winning a CIF title back in 2015. Seems like a long time ago now, Jeff.
It does, but it's great to see him still involved in coaching. There are 7 former head coaches.
Yeah, you told me that.
On this coaching staff.
Well, Jeff Roney, we talked to Jeff Roney, our old buddy before the game. Nice to see him. He looks great.
He did. What do you say? He lost 200 pounds.
Here's the give to Brian Robinson, and Robinson will get upended, coming up and making the stop. One of the leading tacklers from last year, Isaiah Ayers, one of 7 returning starters. Ayers makes the hit. He had 9 tackles when these teams danced last year. Ball, it was actually going to be a loss back to the 18. So Robinson thrown for a 2-yard loss. We saw him get over 100 yards last week. Second down coming up.
And Cuenca was really, really impressive in his first start last week at Riverside Poly.
Galvin in space out of the backfield. He gets to the second level, and then Gio Manji there waiting for him.
You mean Gio Monster?
The Manji Monster got him. So Manji knocks him down. The completion good for about 2 yards. And Galvin, a little guy, Manji, a pretty big guy, goes enlist him at 6'1", 295, and third down coming up. Not a lot of trickery. And I was talking to Derek Johnson, and we were just talking strategically, and he goes, we're going to just play football. We're not going to – we know they do a lot of motion. We need to stay disciplined. And then once the ball's snapped, we're just going to play some football. Throw complete to the outside at about the 15-yard line. And the run after catch up over the 20 and then down about the 23-yard line. Riker Galvin makes the catch. Derek Johnson Jr. makes the tackle.
There's a couple Johnsons on this team.
Darius Johnson also. Both sons, and he's got another one coming, I think, next year or the year after. I forget if he said his son. He's got a daughter, too.
Does she play?
She's a track athlete.
Oh. He was a track athlete.
And there's a cousin, too. He said they're all, all kind of around the ether. Lucas Akutagawa ready to kick it away. Camden Connor back deep. He is dangerous. It'll bounce out of bounds in Marietta Valley territory. They'll down it at about the 43-yard line. So 35-yard kick, no return. And good field position to start in the second drive for the Nighthawks.
Like I said, they're going to continue to really, really try to pound this football on the ground, chew up some clock. If you had just joined us, it could be a quick one if they're just going to run the football all night.
He joined us late. No Bear Bachmeyer tonight. And he didn't play last week either. And Ty Isaiah, the freshman, getting the start. Actually, it's Asher DeWitt going to throw. DeWitt in and out of the hands. That was intended for one of their big tight ends, Brandon Gilbert. 2 very good tight ends for Marietta Valley. Brandon Gilbert is committed to Cornell, and Jacob Alvarez on the other side committed to San Diego State. So we'll get our first look at Asher DeWitt. DeWitt, a sophomore, rolling to his left, kind of thrown over the middle. Pressure coming. That was Dixon on the pressure for King, and it's incomplete. Second down. Go back to the ground. This is Treadwell running. I'm sorry, instead that's Hose up the right side. He'll have a first down and more. He'll get to the 32-yard line of King, so a 25-yard pickup on the play.
Boy, you called it earlier. He gets out in that open field. He is lightning quick as he got on the outside here. Let's look at the replay. Just a straight handoff running off the big boys.
Good seal on the outside by Gilbert. And look at Derek Johnson blocking downfield. And Kaleo Brown needs help from Porter coming over to make the hit. So mark it to the 31-yard line. 26-yard pickup. He's already got 83 yards on 7 carries. That's Dorian Hose. And we knew, Pep Hernandez talked about him on Friday as well. We knew how good he would be.
Yeah, he's been dynamic in the, without the presence of his quarterback. he's kind of had to take up the load as we see a player down for King.
Second straight week that we got King.
It's great to see McMains. I love McMains.
Jason McMains, head coach, of course, of King. And, of course, good to see, you reunite with people. Over the years, I saw you talking with Lance Pfeiffer. I know you know him for many, many years.
We used to play Little League Baseball. His dad, Hal, was my baseball coach. And Lance is part of on the board of the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame.
And then, of course, Jeff Roney was head coach at both La Sierra and Arlington in our time together here, Jeff. And, Derek Johnson, we already mentioned, won a CIF title as a head coach at Notre Dame, and he's bounced around a little bit. Jeff Huerta, who was a longtime head coach at Poly.
Yeah, I mean, remember this, though. He coached a pretty good player at Notre Dame. I think they played on 3 different Super Bowls, and that's Kenyon Barner.
Yeah. So looks like Mark Miranda is the player that's down.
Looks like it might be up in his.
And I mean, he's just come back from an injury, so that'd be unfortunate. They're still a little thin, meaning King's a little thin on the lines, particularly on the defensive side.
I'll tell you what, though, it's nice being up here at King. They have more food that you can throw a stick at. Thanks for the lemonade.
Yeah,
Cool, crisp lemonade.
Yeah, I always like it because they always have that lemonade popcorn stand here.
Is it the kettle stuff?
They have a variety of stuff. I generally opt for the kettle corn. 7-0 Murrieta Valley. They got on the board 9 minutes into the first quarter. Dorian Hose, a 9-yard run at the end of a 67-yard drive where he toted it for 57 of the 67.
Not bad.
Not at all.
Hopefully this young man is okay.
Nighthawks 2-1 coming in. Their only loss, though,
to Servite.
Servite plays in that Trinity League. They're just at a different level, that group. So long pause here with Miranda injured.
Our dear friend Rich Martinez going out to check on his.
Very nice man.
One of the nicest human beings in the world. It's a small world, but he's one of the nicer ones.
Our officials today, Larry Martinez is the referee, the umpire Michael Lay, John Rodriguez the headlinesman, Vince Flores the line judge, and Brad Duran the back judge.
Good to see the big fellow back up.
Always good to see them walk off under their own power, and Rich Martinez.
I'd love to see him pick up Rich Martinez and carry Rich. Just carry him like a baby.
I think you would. I don't think Rich would like that.
He would like it if I went down there.
Coach Martinez?
He was a great coach at Ramona High School. Has been up here on the hill for a number of years. Been an assistant under a lot of head coaches.
So Connor to the near side. Derek Johnson Jr. split out to the far side. Corell Thomas, in the far slot.
I was just told this, by the way. Jason McMains is now the all-time wins leader here at Martin Luther King High School.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. So he has more than Mashinsky.
He has more than anyone.
So Thomas resets in the backfield. Here's DeWitt. Hands off to Thomas. Thomas finds some space. Nice cutback right up the middle. And he is to the house. 31-yard touchdown run coming from Corell Thomas. 13-0 Murrieta Valley.
Wow.
Thomas' first touch to pay dirt.
He touches it and runs right off. Says, hey, I did my job, guys.
And again, just shows you how good that offensive front is. And a nice cutback by Thomas. Levitt puts it through. And it's 14-0. When you were a young man, Jeff, when you were a young kid, did you ever watch Barney Miller?
Come on. Of course I did.
Of course. So then you remember the great Ron Carey, who portrayed a character named Levitt. Another look at the run. Now watch the cutback here.
I played golf with Hal Linden once.
To the end zone is
Untouched.
Corell Thomas.
Untouched.
Good seal on the right side, and then he runs left and finds the opening. And look at Derek Johnson there making sure doesn't get flagged for a penalty. And Thomas has enough space to where he can get outside and get to the end zone. And talking with Jason McMains, he thought this team might be, obviously Centennial. You're always going to reserve that top spot for Matt Logan's crew. But he said these guys could legitimately be that number 2 team in that conference. Well, they're in the same conference, right?
Yeah.
The league. They're a Big West upper versus the Big West lower. The Big 8 and the Southwestern merging a couple years ago. There's Derek Kahn on the left and Riker Galvin on the right. Levitt will approach and kick it away. There'll be a chance for a return here from the 1, Galvin. Slides up over the 20 to about the 22. Ethan Adams among the tacklers there for Marietta Valley.
So I was just told it's Hall of Fame weekend, and I can tell you right now who's going in. John Corona, we said that. Jimmy Kirkima, he was in for wrestling, and Miranda Momteo, who is girls soccer, and they're also inducting the 2010 King Girls CIF Soccer Championship, who was coached, assisted by Rance Garrett and Luke Garrett, our dear friend.
So the Garretts are here. Cover comes in motion. The give to Villarreal running left, and he'll be dropped near the line of scrimmage. Santana Latua making the tackle. He's a returning starter from last year. So Villarreal with a yard. He had 10 carries last week against Poly for 40 yards. Clock moving. First quarter, 14-0 Nighthawks. The Wolves and the Nighthawks. 2 very distinctive sounds.
And very cool animals.
I didn't realize the Nighthawk is a legitimate bird. If you look up your ornithology, they actually exist. Here comes the blitz. Cuenca flings it. Intended receiver was Juarez, but had to get rid of the football. Incomplete. It was interesting. I talked to both Jason McMains and to Derek Johnson. Neither, we're probably not going to blitz a whole lot. Jason McMains didn't seem like they were going to bring a whole lot of pressure, but they bought it on that one.
Yes, they did. And the quarterback on his heels, Mr. Cuenca, said, I want no part of that.
Did a good job getting rid of it. Probably, if he'd held it for a beat, probably would have been better. But you're under duress. You kind of got, they have adjustments designed for that. 3rd down. Looking out of the backfield for Villarreal, who was open, had a little bit of space, but a little bit of a misread, a little miscommunication there. 4th down coming up. So Cuenca now 2 for 4. The punt team comes out for the Wolves. Connor back to receive it near midfield. Camden Connor already has a kickoff return for a touchdown and a punt return for a touchdown. I believe the punt return was last week against Murrieta Mesa. And then the kickoff return, I believe, was against Servite. So Akutagawa, line drive kick. Fielded on the short hop at the 45-yard line. And spinning out of the initial tackle, he'll maybe get back to the 45.
A flag on the play.
So 33-yard kick, no return, flag on the play. We'll sort it all out.
So what is a nighthawk? You called it a legitimate bird in ornithology?
It's not just a hawk. Yeah, if you look at ornithology, I forget they have an official name for it. They have a scientific name for it. It's a nighthawk, which is interesting, and the penalty looks like it's going to go on Murrieta Valley. It's not a nocturnal bird, which confuses me. If it's not a nocturnal bird, why do you call it the nighthawk?
Yeah.
So a 15-yard markup. The ball will go back to the 29-yard line.
Personal foul.
So a 15-yarder against Murrieta Valley. And 1st and 10 for the Nighthawks. And they're, let's see here. Looks like Isaiah back in at quarterback. We saw Asher DeWitt in the last series. Hose running right. He'll tumble forward close to the 40-yard line, close to a 1st down. They'll mark him just short, so a 9-yard pickup on the play.
Well, Ty Isaiah, not a small guy as a freshman at 6'2", 195.
Yeah. I mean, they've had good success with their freshman quarterbacks in the past. George Wilson, his 11th year. Got to the Division II semifinals last year before they lost to Mission Viejo 31-21. Good run for them in the playoffs. 2nd and 1 from the 38 of the Nighthawks. Here's Fuentes in motion. They like him a lot. He's their kind of bang-bang fullback. Isaiah using his feet over the 40, stumble forward to the 45. They'll mark him to the 46, 8-yard pickup.
A great heady run. Great. I mean, seriously, watch this run. He is under duress.
Dixon with the initial pressure. He breaks one tackle and then stumbles down. That was Kalos Granger in on the hit. Under 4 minutes to play first quarter. This one's gone by quick, and the Nighthawks off to a quick start. First down as the defense for King trying to muster just a little bit of resistance here. Isaiah to throw. Over the middle. Incomplete.
A little bit too much zing on that ball.
In and out of the hands of Brendan Ortega, the intended receiver.
And make sure you tune in tomorrow night to the pep rally at 11 p.m. We're going to have all the scores, highlights from all across the Inland Empire. We have people out tonight filming so we can give you the absolute best in high school football. Check it out Friday night, 11 p.m.
Hose right up the middle. George brings him down, but another maybe 8 yards on the play. Nothing fancy there. Logan George makes the play. Move it up to the 45-yard line. I heard a nasty rumor about the pep rally, Jeff.
You did?
Heard it may have won some awards. Is that true?
I hope not. It can't win awards. Only the coach's perspective can win awards. Pep Fernandez, though, I'm sure he's going to get one eventually.
Cam Connor split out to the near side. They'll give the ball to Hose. Running right. Fall forward to the 41-yard line, so 4 yards on first now. His 10th carry on the evening. So he's right at 100 yards on 10 carries. Justin Coute makes the tackle. Sophomore. They like him a lot.
Yeah, we've called his name the last couple weeks.
They're missing Max Henchy. I think he hasn't played since Roosevelt. Isaiah to throw, looking downfield. He's got Connor. Overthrows him. Logan George and Kalos Granger. I think Granger was that was Dana Burke in coverage.
Cam Connor had nobody within about 8 yards of him. That was lightning speed.
So trying to put it up top on first down. 2nd and 10 from the 41. Another look at it. Great protection.
Just overthrew him.
It's amazing the numbers that Bear Bachmeyer put up. I mean, he's thrown for 5,500 yards over his career, run for almost 1,300, 47 passing touchdowns, 25 rushing touchdowns. Hard to replace. Here's the toss to Hose running right, and big hole. The big boys just doing their job. Finally, Galvin will wrestle him down inside the 30. They'll mark it to the 28-yard line. 13 more yards for Hose. Another look at it. Just look at the push. They shift to the right side in the wide open lane there to run for. Almost like a Vince Lombardi tutorial. A seal here and a seal here and run it in the alley.
We had a wall of 620 pounds between two guys.
1st and 10. Misdirection. Here's the throw to the tight end. This is Gilbert catching it. Shoved out of bounds by Cover inside the 20. He'll get to about the 17-yard line. So Gilbert with the reception. And they like Gilbert a lot. He was kind of their big tight end last year, and they bought in the transfer from Chaparral Alvarez this year. Good misdirection, good play fake there. And then they get the tight end rolling. They have two very good tight ends, both good blockers, both solid receivers. And just moving down the field are the Nighthawks. Alvarez in the near slot now. Thomas to the top of your screen. They're going to go to the corner. One-on-one, Cam Connor, incomplete. And that was Burke on the coverage. So second down coming up.
He almost threw it in the tuba. You got an arm, though, on that young guy.
There's a reason freshmen playing varsity, right?
Wow.
So Julian Treadwell re-enters the game. He's in the far slot for Marietta Valley. Connor split out to the near side. Gilbert flexed out on the right side as the tight end. Here's Treadway in motion. Give right up the middle. This is Hose. Galvin wraps his ankles up about the 5-yard line. Another dozen yards for Dorian Hose.
He's over 100 already here in the first.
He's at 125 now.
Wow.
Unofficially, I'm for 12 carries, 125 yards. Might be off by a yard or two. First and goal, they marked it at the 4-yard line. Drive started back at the 29-yard line. Hose running right and untouched by human hand. Touchdown, Marietta Valley. Second trip to pay dirt for Hose. It's 20-0 Nighthawks.
They are methodically doing what they're supposed to do. Just running the football, running off those big tackles.
Hose, the 4-yard run with 52.5 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Levitt. Swings the right leg, and like Elvis Costello, his aim is true, and it's 21-0 with 52.5 seconds left here in the first quarter, and 3 drives, a 67-yard drive, a 57-yard drive, and this one was a 71-yard drive for the Nighthawks. And no Bear Bachmeyer, but they look no worse for the wear, Jeff Gorham.
No, and I'm sure that King is happy there's no Bear Bachmeyer.
That doesn't seem to have changed anything, though.
No, they've just, they are just dismantling this King team, who is undefeated.
4-0, looking for their best start. It is their best start since 2013. They started 2013 6-0, but remember, that 2013 team finished 6-4. So I know that's something Jason McMains doesn't want. As Levitt to tee it up. Galvin and Kahn deep. Kahn had a big kickoff return last week against Pauley. Here's the kickoff, and there'll be a touchback. Now, I got a chance to talk to both Jason McMains and Ken Mashinsky this week, and both their teams are 4-0. How do you think the conversations went?
Oh, we're not very good.
Yeah, exactly.
We're they give you the coach speak, Gazal.
Well, but see, when they do specifics, I think they mean it. You know, like Coach McMahon saying, "Listen, we ran the ball okay. We need to run it better. I wasn't happy with the passing game. There are these things on defense I wasn't happy with." You know, and Ken was the same way, obviously.
I'm like, come on, coaches. See, they won't talk to me. They'll call me after the game.
1st and 10. Yeah, because you're jovial. You're a nice guy.
I just make fun of them when they give me the coaches speak.
Here's the give, and right maybe to the line of scrimmage. Middle of that defensive line kind of swallows them up. Here come flags in. Kaleo Brown with the carry. One of the guys in on the tackle, Sergio Albaran. Now, they have about 4 or 5 guys they rotate in. They play a 3-man front, the Nighthawks, and they love their depth. Talked to Derek Johnson about it, Jeff Roney as well. And they just can rotate guys in there. Manji is kind of the focal point. We saw Latua earlier, Josiah Anyansi. Ethan Adams kind of goes back and forth, and this one's going to be against Marietta Valley. It'll move the ball up to the 35.
Yeah, personal foul.
Second personal foul called on the Nighthawks. So a little bit of room now. Kahn split out to the far side.
Kahn! I just have to say it.
The great Ricardo Montalban, of course. Well, that was Shatner, but, Montalban played Kahn. Here's the give. Robinson spins over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. 5 yards on the play.
Remember, he says, there she is. Not so wounded as I led to believe.
Now, Wrath of Khan is the Genesis device, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of fewer of the one, Jim.
Rodriguez in on the hit as well from Marietta Valley. But Christopher Lloyd is in that too, right?
Yes, he's the head Klingon.
Right.
That's Jim Ignatowski.
You mean you won't give me the Genesis device? So we'll switch sides. It'll be 2nd and 5, end of the first quarter. Ghazal Hassan with you, along with Jeff Gorham, our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. Doubleheader weekend, because we're back tomorrow. We're over at Ram High. You're over at your alma mater.
We are at my alma mater, Ram High, these defending state champions.
And also, they just inducted Jeff, if you didn't know, into the Ramona Hall of Fame back in April.
The only reason they put me in is because they figured, we could wait. We could put him in now when people might show up. Or we'll just put him in posthumously. I was really hoping for posthumously.
There's Jason McMahon. I told somebody that story, and they thought you were brilliant. They said, if I ever go to my high, I'm going to tell them I don't want to go in until I'm posthumously in. So you started a trend, Jeff.
I'm telling you.
So there's the Hall of Fame.
Look at Luke Garrett right there. And Rance, they were part of that coaching. They coached that team. Look at Tony Macy. Oh. John Corona over there on the far right. He's so embarrassed to be there. He's deserving, though. One of the nicest human beings in the world.
So they won a CIF championship in 2010. And a lot of good soccer here in the Inland Empire, Jeff.
Great soccer. So our hometown college, California Baptist University, played the number 2 ranked team in the country. Number 1 ranked team in the country.
I cover, I get to cover women's soccer for the Big West, and there's so many names of players from out this way. In fact, I'm doing a match on Sunday. Cal State Fullerton, a couple of Santiago players.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So are they doing this in between the quarters?
I guess.
What are they doing? There's my guy. That's my high school basketball coach right there, Tony Macy.
Tony Macy. He was the AD here
for a long time.
Of course, younger brother of John Macy, who's a longtime head coach at UC Riverside, took him to a couple of D2 Final Fours, if I remember.
Yeah.
Men on the men's side.
And their dad, Frank V for Victory, who was a longtime Riverside guy. As they mentioned.
So the Macys are both Ramona alums?
Of course. And then there's the great John Corona. Let's see if he gets a plaque.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would also like to recognize John Corona.
So you had John Corona on at halftime last week?
King High track coach, cross country, taught.
And so they will give him a plaque.
The King High Remembers History program here. Absolute living legend. One of the
I call him once a week on the telephone just to mess with him. See, my dad, my dad's a longtime coach in the Hall of Fame here in Riverside. And you know what the thing is? My dad every Sunday would reach out to his friends. So every Sunday I have my list of 2 friends, one of them which I'm sitting next to, and then John Corona. No, I call the number of friends and check on them weekly.
You do, yeah, you do. I will say that. I can resemble that. You do call to check on people.
And I call John Corona every Sunday just to make sure, for one thing, to make sure he's alive. I mean, come on. Got to make sure he's always alive. And 2, just to see if I can make him laugh.
That's the one thing you don't count on. Your dad has passed away, my dad has passed away, but for their friends, they reach out. I had a really interesting conversation. A dear friend of my father's, and he's in his late 80s now. We were talking at a family event over the summer, and he said, everything's great. Family's great, grandkids are great, I'm healthy. He said, but my friends are all gone. 2nd down. Robinson pounds up to the 45. He'll be short of the 1st down, but it'll be 3rd and very short. And you don't think about that. I mean, you do. I mean, you don't. You don't think about that.
Well, it is nice to see my good friend John Corona get inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think they're going to have a dinner tomorrow night for them.
So Hall of Fame Thursday here for King. They trail 21-0 against Marietta Valley. And the Wolves come in 4-0. So they spotted a lead to the Nighthawks as Juarez to the top of your screen, split out to the near side, Khan. Full house backfield. Here's the give. This is Robinson. He'll have, well, I'm not sure he'll have the first down. Latua there on the stop.
And
also coming up was young Tyler Roney. And from where where the official is standing, looks like he's got the first down. Good block there, and then riding over the top. That's Tyler Roney. Good to see Jeff Roney before the game today.
Man, he said he lost over 200 pounds.
It's always weird. Now, obviously, he was very much skinnier than the last time we saw him, right? And and in years since we've seen him, and he had told us I won't mention it on the air, but he told us what his weight was, and I wouldn't have thought he'd gotten that big, but he said he's lost over 200 pounds, and more power to him. He looks great, feels great. He's coaching, still teaching at Arlington.
Yeah, before the game I saw him, and I almost didn't recognize him. I said, who's that good-looking guy? He had a cool-looking beard going on, almost like a Miami Vice beard. Always nice. Jeff Roney's always been so pleasant to us and to the city of Riverside. And like I said, 7 assistant coaches on that staff, former head coaches.
We saw Jeff Huerta, who was over at Poly. Derek Johnson, obviously, who was at Notre Dame previously. We mentioned Coach Roney.
Pfeiffer's been a head coach, Lance Pfeiffer.
Injury timeout right now, 21-0.
Is this Cuenca, though? I'm starting to think this might be Cuenca. I don't see 11 out there. Yes, it is. No, is that Cuenca? No, that's Derek Kahn.
So Kahn sitting up.
That could be.
Remember, he stepped in and played quarterback.
That's right. He was a quarterback for, 2 games?
For the first couple of weeks, and said kind of saved the game, and kind of tongue-in-cheek. This is because we're talking week 2, week 3. McVay said, well, he may have saved the season because he knew he wasn't getting Cuenca back for another couple of weeks, and they needed a stopgap to step in there and be able to play quarterback. And here they are in week 5. It's week 4, but their 5th game, and they're 4-0.
Oh, looks like he's moving okay.
So first down for King. The run by Robinson. So 4 carries for Robinson, 9 yards unofficially. And King trying to get something going. They got a little bit of a break with a personal foul on Marietta Valley. 4-man front for the Nighthawks. Rolling right, Cuenca here is the pressure. Thrown to the outside. He's looking for Galvin, incomplete. Darius Johnson, Derek's younger son, on the coverage. He's the defensive coordinator for the Nighthawks. Previously been at, among other places, he was in Norco for a little bit. Was an assistant under Daniel Algadas at San Bernardino Valley College. Of course, we remember him from when he was head coach at Notre Dame. Second and 10 coming up.
In fact, Derek Johnson Jr. was at Norco for a year with Chuck Chastain, our buddy, who's calling the game tomorrow night with Nick Rice.
Broadcast debut. For Coach Dogbite. Juarez split out to the far side. In the far slot, Riker Galvin. Here's the give to Robinson, and he'll be ridden down from behind. Making the tackle, Sergio Albaran.
And not much from Robinson tonight, as they are really putting everybody in the box, making King throw the football here.
I mean, Jason McMahon's knew is like they're going to keep things real simple. They don't need to do a whole lot of stuff to bring pressure. He was really impressed with the front. And they'll play both. They're primarily a 3-man front, Jeff, but as you've seen, they'll go to 4 here on run situations. They'll go to 4 yet again on the third down situation.
They have 9 players that can actually get in this rotation on defense.
Out of the backfield to Robinson and deflected. They'll rule it an incomplete pass, and 4th down coming up.
That almost looked like a lateral to me. Let's see if we can get that on the replay here.
Tyler Roney was bearing down on the play, the freshman.
See where he throws it from.
Yeah, look, a backward pass to me.
Sure did. Should have been a live ball.
So punt team out. We have not seen Camden Connor return yet. He can be pretty dynamic in the return game. Obviously, Coach McMains and his staff know about it, so they're going to avoid kicking anywhere close to him. Akutagawa, that little rugby run up, and he'll have the kick. Kind of curls back, and he'll get a return from the 24-yard line. Here's Connor down the sideline. He's got some space. One man to beat is Akutagawa and lose the football. Looks like initially King had it, and they do have it. So Connor with the big return, but a turnover, and the Wolves jump on it.
Yeah, he pulled that ball to the side of his body, and it was stripped.
Logan George made the recovery. I think Akutagawa got his nose around the football on the tackle, but Logan George jumped on it. He may have stripped it as well. Another look at it.
Yeah, he switches hands, I think, here with the football.
So Connor in full stride here, and he's got to get by Akutagawa, and Akutagawa kind of gets enough. Akutagawa stripped it. How about that?
Yeah. The kicker.
So from the 31, 1st and 10. Villarreal, maybe the line of scrimmage. Second down coming up. You know, we got a chance to talk to Akutagawa's mom before the game a little bit. And, you know, she was talking about, you know, obviously he likes being on the team and all that, likes playing football, but just, you know, and Jason McManus told me this thing. He just wants to play. He wants to do more than kick and punt. Shows you why they're a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, great athlete. And we were saying, you know, kickers now are better. I mean, they're good athletes. Look at all the guys that are in the NFL now kicking 50-plus yarders. They were good athletes. They played multiple sports, played different positions. They just found their niche.
Second down, here's the throw in and out of the hands of Riker Galvin, incomplete. Combining on the coverage for Marietta Valley. Isaiah Ayers was in the vicinity, as was Landon Nagy. Third down. So from the 31-yard line after the turnover, they haven't been able to do much. And King will call timeout with 9:04 to play here in the second quarter. They trail 21-0. Thanks for joining us. Bonus coverage here. We got a doubleheader Thursday, Friday. I mean, we got a legitimate doubleheader tomorrow. We have 2 games tomorrow. But when I say doubleheader, I mean, hey, you get football for 2 games. Or, well, 3 games.
We have 4 this week.
Well, we have 3 days, though.
Yes, 3 days, 4 games.
You know, you remember the old Christopher Walken sketch on Saturday Night Live, the More Cowbell sketch?
Yes.
I want to do that sketch with you, but instead of more cowbells, it's more football.
More games, more games. Yeah, we have good ones. 2 good ones tomorrow. Like I said, the Solar Series between Riverside Ramona versus Riverside Poly, the rematch from last year's CIF Championship. And then across the way, in our secondary game, we'll have Granite Hills versus Ken Batdorf and the Norte Vista Braves. It's their homecoming. Ken Batdorf was dancing today in the – he pulled his hammy yesterday, though, and he was out still dancing at the homecoming assembly.
Preston Fox split out to the far side. Juarez to the near side. Here's the play. Out of the backfield to Villarreal, incomplete. And the punt team will come out. Would have had the first down, could he have held on to it. Instead, the punt team comes out. Lucas Akutagawa gets another shot. Connor back deep again. He'll be a little bit closer than he was last time.
Let's see if he switches hands this time. I still like when Ken Batdorf's guys would fumble, he would give their running backs footballs and make the kids on campus try to knock the ball out of their hands.
In the 32. And then he'll get no such return this time. Making the tackle down the field. Ben Major makes the play. So 37-yard kick, about a 5-yard return from the 36-yard line. Marietta Valley will tee it up again. So it's Murrieta Valley, right? It's not Murrieta. It's Murrieta.
Yeah, see, Pep likes to say Murrieta. It's Murrieta is what I've always.
But you live closer, so I'll tell. Well, I mean, I guess you guys live about the same distance. He's past it. You're ahead of it, right?
Yes. Yes, it's Murrieta is what I would like to say.
So we'll get Asher DeWitt. Come and knock on his door, Jeff. DeWitt, the sophomore, 15 of 33 coming in on the year. Actually played last year against King. Last year at Murrieta Valley on September 14th. Completed all 3 of his passes as a freshman. Playing behind Bear Bachmeier. Here's DeWitt. Looking out of the backfield. Now he's being chased by Dixon. And finally he'll go out of bounds at about the 36-yard line.
Ball's carried by quarterback number 12, Ashley DeWitt.
Logan George making the play.
7, Logan George, and number 9.
We've called his name quite a bit here in the first half. George has been all over the place.
Pick up of 1 yard.
Second and 10. Of course, younger brother of Robert. George, who graduated last year, was a receiver for Jason McMahon. So I know his dad is a good friend of yours.
Chip.
Second down. David Waits lined up in the backfield. We're going to throw. Complete to the big tight end up near midfield. It'll be a first down, about a 12-yard pickup on the play. Jacob Alvarez, who's heading to San Diego State.
6'5", 250. Did you see him just grab that ball? He swept it through like he was a big power forward.
He may play in the Pac-12 before it's all said and done. San Diego State, part of the breakaway of the Mountain West.
Watch this. He just sweeps him right through.
It's Riker Galvin, pretty good tackler. So they mark to the 49-yard line, a 12-yard pickup and a first down. So it looks like DeWitt and Isaiah will alternate possessions, more or less. 2 young quarterbacks playing in place of Bear Bachmeier. Looking up top for Treadway, and he makes the catch one-on-one with Burke. They'll mark him down to the 22-yard line, so a 29-yard pitch and catch. Good ball thrown by DeWitt.
Well, they're used to catching those passes. Remember, they played with the great Bear Bachmeier. Saying, hey, I get the ball thrown to me. I got to make the best of it. And
Treadwell last year had 39 receptions. Averaged about 16 yards a catch, so you are correct, sir. So Treadwell in the near slot. Thomas in the far slot. First and 10 from the 21 of King. Waits adjusting himself in the backfield. Pistol set. Connor, ball bounding around, incomplete, in and out of the hands of Riker. Camden Connor, the intended receiver. Burke in on the coverage, but Riker Galvin had a shot at the ball.
But watch Waits. Watch this block by Waits. Oh, he's great block there. I have a tendency to watch the little guys, and what a big block there.
Second and 10 coming up.
Waits, he's a little guy. 5'6", 158, laying the hurt.
Brandon Ortega split out to the near side. Alvarez in the far slot. DeWitt to throw, looking. Alvarez. Touchdown.
Wow.
Straight post route. What a catch by the big fella, Jacob Alvarez. Touchdown, Nighthawks. 21-yard touchdown pass from DeWitt to Jacob Alvarez.
And that pass was thrown. I didn't think he was going to get to it. What a great catch. I thought he was way behind the football and dives right underneath to make the play.
6:19 of the second quarter, the 21-yard touchdown pass. Levitt puts it through, and it's 28-0. So we've seen Gilbert with a catch, Alvarez with a couple of catches, and tight end. Well, another look at that drive.
I mean, this ball looks like it's thrown ahead of him, and wow.
Just went and got it. I mean, into double coverage between Porter and Riker Gallen. That's good coverage for King, but Alvarez just laid out and drew it in. Heck of a catch for Jacob Alvarez. Started his career, played his first 3 years at Chaparral before transferring to Murrieta Valley.
Boy, how good is Chaparral this year? They are very good.
And they lost guy. They quarterback they lost. And
oh, man. Coach Raymer does a great job over there.
They do a great job over there. I know you like them because they do the fair catch thing. The field goal off the fair catch. Levitt to kick it away. Juarez will scoop it up at about the 10. Little move and bumped out of bounds at over the 20 to the 21-yard line. So 28-0 Nighthawks in the second quarter. And King just trying to get something going, Jeff.
Yeah, they haven't had much. They haven't had the big play yet today. Like
Very good defense. And that was the criticism of over the years in Murrieta Valley is, hey, you got a great offense, but defensively sometimes when you need a play you can't get it. Their defense looks pretty good. Last 2 weeks, they shut out Murrieta Mesa last week. Their one loss, of course, is to Servite. Galvin takes the handoff, trying to sweep on the right side. And down he goes at the line of scrimmage.
Now, my biggest question is, will Murrieta Valley, obviously they'll make the playoffs, will they be a Division I or a Division II?
Lima Tufilao Hernandez makes the tackle. It's a good. You hear that every year. Oh, they're just going to do 4 teams this year for Division I, and then they never do it. I think a couple years ago they did 10. I think last year they did 8.
Maybe they'll go 12, like the NC2A.
Second down and 10 from the 21. Snap gets through Cuenca. He just dives on it, and the ball back to the 10-yard line, a loss. Knifing through there was Lucas Virgil for Murrieta Valley, and third down coming up. Another look at it.
Yeah, it's just a low snap, but luckily Cuenca was able to get quickly on it.
So mark the ball at the 11. Third down and 20 coming up. Under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Thanks for joining us. A little bit of a blustery day. Good football weather. Throw to the outside, complete to the 10-yard line, and then bumped out of bounds. That's Derek Johnson Jr. coming over and making the play at about the 19-yard line. Making the catch, Caden Drake, the junior. Derek Johnson Jr. making the hit. He's got a couple of offers as well.
His brother already has offers.
It was interesting. I was talking to Coach Johnson about it, and he played at the University of Washington. A couple of the guys from that staff are now down at UCLA, so they've been invited out for a non-official. I guess it's called unofficial.
Yeah.
Fourth down, Akutagawa. Camden Connor at about the 49-yard line. He's got some space. Look at him go. Bring the ball all the way back to about the 30-yard line. So call it a 33-yard kick and a 20-yard return ball to the 31-yard line of King. And Juarez makes the tackle, and good field position for Murrieta Valley.
Man, they just seem like they're all over the ball. I mean, they've...
This is a good team.
Very good.
It's a good team.
Like I said, I personally think if they have Bachmeyer, they beat my dear friend over there at Centennial.
Isaiah back at quarterback. He throws it back to Waits, and then the Do-Si-Do, Kaleo Brown pulls him down.
One of the very few plays for a loss here tonight for Murrieta Valley.
They'll mark it back to the 38-yard line. Second down coming up. Like Hose may be done for the day. Already a pretty good day at the office for him. Derek Johnson Jr. split out to the near side. Treadway in the far slot. Connor split out to the far side. Correll Thomas in the near slot. 2nd and 17. Here comes pressure. Out of the backfield to Thomas. Spins around Logan George, but then there to clean it up. Maybe a yard on the play. Landon Macias cleans it up for Martin Luther King. It's about a 2-yard pickup on the play. We talked about this a little bit last week, where the new trend, we talked about the vertical game versus the horizontal game. The new trend, new 5-6 years, right? Playmakers in space.
Yes.
That's how you advance the ball vertically. 3rd down. Now here's some vertical game for Derek Johnson, and he'll reel it in. Touchdown, Murrieta Valley. 35-yard strike from Isaiah to Derek Johnson Jr. They went horizontal, and then they went vertical.
Well, the vertical, like we had talked about, those receivers are just so fast and so quick off of the ball.
We talked about it in the pregame as Levin on to try the PAT. 35-yard touchdown catch. Swings the leg, does Levin. It's 35-0 in favor of Murrieta Valley. When you look at the offense and you talk about Bear Bachmeyer, and he's not here, but it's like an 80s Converse commercial. There are weapons everywhere, right? You got McHale, you got Magic, you got Bird, you got Aguirre, Bernard King. I don't know if it was Bernard King a Converse guy. You get all these weapons. Derek Johnson. We saw Hose already. The 2 tight ends. Gilbert and Alvarez.
They're monsters.
Camden Connor. We saw Treadway make a great play down the field. I'm leaving people out.
They look like a college team. You look at them, I'd put these guys up against some of the teams we've seen play against RCC. RCC was defeated this past week. But that's their nemesis, has always been the Golden West.
Because we weren't there. It was a 1-point loss. They lost on a PAT or missed PAT, and they had a bunch of penalties. You can never tell because I wasn't watching the game. I saw they were down 21-6. And I'm looking at Twitter, and all the RC people are saying, the officials this, the officials that.
It's just a rivalry game. Golden West just played, remember, Golden West beat RCC 3 years ago, and they took their quarterback, Retzlaff, to come play for RCC the next year.
From the 5, here's Alex Juarez over the 20-yard line of the 23. A friend of ours, Michael Martinez, statted the game. I don't want to get him in trouble, but he said, there was questionable stuff on both sides, but he did say there was a late call that could have gone either way that hurt RCC. He did say that.
Well, we saw RCC, in a couple close games last year.
Well, but Tom Kraft is never going to accept that. He's all about, hey, we need to earn the wins, guys.
So we will be back in action next Saturday at Wheelock.
No high school game next Friday.
No, we still are going to have the pep rally. We're talking about bringing in some coaches. Look for a surprise next week or two.
Villarreal runs headlong into the teeth of that defense. Looking pretty good today.
No Villarreal on the carry.
Villarreal stopped right about the line of scrimmage.
Brought down just behind the line of scrimmage.
You want to say that Ethan Adams on the tackle.
Number 69, Gio Monge.
2nd down. Over the middle. Looking for Galvin, incomplete. Gabe Lamelli on the coverage. 3rd down. So Cuenca now just 3 of 10 through the air. Third down. Looking for Juarez, incomplete. Coverage on the play. Cedric Dunklin Jr. and 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and
3 and out.
Murrieta Valley's going to get the ball with plenty of time here left in the second quarter. It's chilly out here. For last week or 2 weeks ago it was 130 out here.
And now we both got jackets on.
This is one of the days I wish I had hair.
This was the score at the half against Murrieta Mesa. I think we'll have that game for King as well, obviously in the league schedule. And then it was a running clock in the second half against the Rams and ended up being 42-0. Here's Akutagawa, that run up. And Connor fielded about the 45-yard line. Connor looking for some blockers. Connor turns the corner. Connor to the house, yes. Touchdown, Camden Connor. 55-yard punt return. And no laundry on the field. How about that one? Oh, my.
Wow. And you watch, if you're watching this on in the replay, you watch all of the players on special teams. They are squaring up and making block after block, setting up on certain spots on the field. Great play.
Yeah, very good special teams. I mean, you can argue that King won that game last week on special teams.
Yes.
You know, Murrieta Valley, man, their special teams are solid. Going from Levitt, going to their coverage, and they have a weapon, Camden Connor. Nathan Levitt on for the PAT. He is 6 for 6. Yes, he is. Oh, I jinxed him. He missed it. So 41-0 here as we are still in the first half. Connor immediately directing traffic. 1 block, 2 block. Akutagawa had the last shot at him, and he cuts back up inside. Gets past Major into the end zone.
Wow. This team is very good.
2-1 coming in. Their only loss coming to Servite out of that Trinity League. And remember, they've not played. I don't think Bear Bachmeyer has played a snap yet this year.
He has not.
Already going to Stanford, the class of 25 standout to join his brother.
There's been a couple local guys been quarterbacks up at Stanford. Tanner McKee.
Yeah. Galvin from the 2.
McKee's playing in the NFL actually too.
Yeah, the National Football League. Nice return. Out over the 35-yard line. Tackle on the play. Cedric Dunklin Jr. And Rodriguez in on the hit as well as they get up to the 37-yard line. Did you see when the Eagles, I guess, were in Brazil? And that's where Tanner McKee had done his
mission,
LDS mission. He was translating. He was speaking Portuguese. Yeah, Dunklin had him down around the ankles. Rodriguez came in later. Tomorrow, Novi Granite Hills. And we also have an early start for Poly Ramona. The throw over the middle nearly picked off, intended for Juarez. Little confusion there. Ayers and Dylan Gray got a little bit crossed up. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Yeah, they're going to start the Ramona Poly game at 6:45 due to its homecoming. And Coach Tibble said he wants the players wanted to get out a little early so they could get dressed for the dance. You want to go to the dance tomorrow night afterwards? Want to go cut a rug?
We have the pep rally.
Oh, darn it. I guess I can't go dance.
You could do a dance-themed pep rally.
I live to dance. I danced this past weekend. 2nd
and 10, over the middle. In and out of the hands, coming across, try to make the play. That was Dunklin again, Cedric Dunklin Jr. 3rd down coming up. Juarez down the field, the intended receiver. So since he left, Jeff, we have not seen Derek Kahn back in the game.
I have
so
not.
No more. You can't.
I can't do
no more yops for you of Kahn, like William Payne tribute, of course, to William Shatner.
Gosh, one of my favorite movies ever. It's got a great name.
Immortalized, of course, in the Bare Naked Leggies hit Great 9. 3rd and 10 from the 37. Dumps it off to Robinson. And Robinson met at about the 43-yard line. That was Joey Rodriguez making the hit.
By number 28, that's Cedric Dunkley.
So 4th down and about 5, but a completion to Brian Robinson, his first reception. And here comes Lucas Akutagawa.
So 4th and 4 from the 43-yard line.
Now, I didn't realize this, so we mentioned that we met Lucas's mom earlier today, that she was at Jurupa Valley when you taught there. Is that, did I get
I
that
think
right?
so. Like my first year there.
Okay.
And I felt like an old man.
Fake. Little misdirection. And it'll be a first down for King. Little trickeration from Jason McMains. Jaden Cover running for the first down off the handoff. It initially went to Caden Drake. And the end around from Cover.
The Drake.
You like the Drake?
Everybody likes the Drake.
I'm not sure about the Drake. But you like the Drake. What do we get him? What do we get him for his for his wedding? What do we get him? We should go in on a present.
We should.
First and 10 from the 45.
A big screen or a chair. A massage chair.
Cuenca down the field. Incomplete. Intended for Preston Fox.
Incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
It was Derek Johnson Jr. there on the coverage. Another look at that fake punt. And Cover finds the edge. He's got the first down.
This is a little double wing action. You see that?
2nd and 10. Here's the throw. Complete in the seam. Derek Johnson Jr. drags him down. That was Fox on the reception.
Caught by number 84, Preston Fox.
So a 29-yard, they're only going to mark it 13, 32-yard completion. 1st and 10, move the sticks. So good pitch and catch. That's a really good ball thrown. They tried that a couple times earlier, and that time it was finally open. 1st and 10 from the 13, and here's the turnover. And back the other way is Derek Johnson Jr. He stumbles, tight ropes the sideline. He's going to go all the way. Derek Johnson Jr. with a defensive touchdown. Heartbreak for the Wolves.
That was a pick 6 by number 2.
Johnson with the interception. He'll bring it back. I don't know the official word on it. Close to 90 yards.
Wow.
The pick 6, just like his dad, Derek Johnson Jr. bringing it back all the way. For those who don't know, Pop played at UW and then a few years in the National Football League before returning home to Riverside. He's a Riverside guy.
Of course he is.
Played at Notre Dame. Now, was Lance Pfeiffer his head coach at Notre Dame?
No, I believe it was either. Was it Hal? His dad, Hal, might have
Hal
been.
Pfeiffer,
Yeah, Hal
okay.
was. It might have been Hal. I'm trying to think if it was either Hal or Pat Thompson, maybe.
I think it was Hal Pfeiffer. I think you're right. I
Yeah.
think it was Hal Pfeiffer.
Yeah, I do believe it is Hal.
Levitt with redemption.
PAT is good.
48-0. The pick 6 for Derek Johnson Jr. Let's get another look at it.
Nighthawks 48, King Wolves 0.
So Cuenca picked off at about the 10. Yeah, so 90-yard pick 6.
It's like Travis Hunter in offense and defense.
I was talking to Coach Johnson. I said, what's next level? And he thinks he's a defensive player at the next level.
He can do anything he wants at the next level watching this game.
They're looking at him as a safety, actually. And like we've talked about, kind of the evolution of the game, you know, it's inverted, right? Because it used to be the athletic guys were the corners, and the guys maybe who were a little bit slower were the safeties,
Yes.
and then, you know, the fellow named Ed Reed, you know, and I'll throw Sean Taylor in there, although, of course, the tragedy of his life, but now those guys all of a sudden are playing safety, and people are saying, oh, maybe we should put the athletes at safety. Busy night for Nathan Levitt, but thanks to him, we were able to get the Ron Carey call in from the old Barney Miller show. I wanted to, because Levitt never made detective. That was the whole joke. He always wanted to be a
Yes.
detective, and he never made detective. Well, Nathan Levitt's been a pretty good detective tonight with the kicking the football. Little squib kick. Picked up inside the 20. Stumbling forward about the 25-yard line for King. Joey Silva.
I think if you're King, you just want to get this half over with.
Instead, it's the 25. He caught the ball and got up to the 25. They look at the King sideline. But the other team from Murrieta is also doing pretty well tonight. Vista Murrieta 42, Temecula Valley 7.
Oh, those guys are my favorites. I told you I go over there on my my Costco run on Saturday morning and go watch Vista Murrieta practice. They're there all the time, 365 days a year. They are always out there working on drills.
1st and 15. Here's the give. Down at about the 20-yard line. Lamelli gets up from the bottom of the pile. Also the big fella, Gio Mangi. So maybe a yard on the play.
And a good thing for, this game, it's a good measuring stick for King, what they need to do, but they have a bye week next week, so they're going to get a rest and get healthy. Hopefully we'll have Khan will be back.
2nd down. Let's keep it on the ground. Robinson reverses field. Robinson's got a little bit of space. Robinson at the second level and into Vista Murrieta territory just as the first half ends.
That is the end of the first half on
It's about a 35-yard run
by number 8
for Brian Robinson, and they'll go to the locker room. We'll play 24 minutes of football. Dominant first half by the Nighthawks, Jeff.
Like I said, I think this team was probably and still could possibly give Centennial a run for their money, but it has been all Murrieta Valley. King 4-0, struggling a bit. They just can't seem to get in a groove, can't run or throw the football tonight.
The call of the Nighthawk ringing loudly here at Van Buren and Wood. That's the score at the half. Jeff and I will step aside and come back with more football for you. It is Football Night in Riverside, the CIF on Riverside TV.
Hi, welcome to the Riverside Energy Resource Center. I'm Chuck Casey, the Utility Generation Manager. The Riverside Energy Resource Center consists of 4 large generators. They're 50 megawatts each. They're vital during summer peak periods and year-round when we need the power. Each year, we get special permission to take a preventive maintenance outage. We found a piece of metal missing from a rotating blade, which caused some subsequent damage, and it was prudent maintenance practices to repair that damage before we operated again. In the summer peak period, that can be very important. That power would have to be replaced with some other power, possibly external to the city or from a different source, likely sometimes not available at all. Doing this preventive maintenance paid off. We found the problem, we all worked together to get the unit removed, up to the repair facility, and back while power demands were low, so they can run their air conditioners and charge their electric vehicles. The Riverside Energy Resource Center has become more and more important each year. As we add more homes and more air conditioning load, more commercial industrial properties, having this large power plant within the boundaries of our electric system allows us to start the plant up during those peak demands to help the customers and greatly increase Riverside Public Utilities' reliability. Hi, welcome to the Riverside Energy Resource Center. I'm Chuck Casey, the Utility Generation Manager. The Riverside Energy Resource Center consists of 4 large generators. They're 50 megawatts each. They're vital during summer peak periods and year-round when we need the power. Each year, we get special permission to take a preventive maintenance outage. We found a piece of metal missing from a rotating blade, which caused some subsequent damage, and it was prudent maintenance practices to repair that damage before we operated again. In the summer peak period, that can be very important. That power would have to be replaced with some other power, possibly external to the city or from a different source, likely sometimes not available at all. Doing this preventive maintenance paid off. We found the problem, we all worked together to get the unit removed, up to the repair facility, and back while power demands were low, so they can run their air conditioners and charge their electric vehicles. The Riverside Energy Resource Center has become more and more important each year. As we add more homes and more air conditioning load, more commercial industrial properties, having this large power plant within the boundaries of our electric system allows us to start the plant up during those peak demands to help the customers and greatly increase Riverside Public Utilities' reliability.
The Riverside City Clerk's Office's mission is to enhance community trust and promote equitable public services by providing accessible and efficient legislative support, digital services, and city records to residents, city council, city staff, and business partners. We prioritize fiscal responsibility and adapt innovative services to meet the ever-changing needs of the community. We strive to provide residents and businesses with responsive and optimal services. So what does that all mean? Our lean and high-performing team is divided among three important functions: legislative, administrative support, and resident services. Besides working as a partner with every city department, the City Clerk's Office is responsible for many public-facing duties such as our passport acceptance facility. The passport team averages over 6,000 applications processed annually, making us the most widely used and highest-performing passport facility in the region. As the keepers of the city's legislative historical record, we are the go-to office for public information requests. On average, our office fulfills over 1,600 requests a year with a 3-day average response time, much faster than the 10 days required by state law. Every 10 years after the U.S. Census, the city is required to redraw its ward boundaries to ensure equal representation, and the City Clerk's Office is an integral part of that effort. In 2022 and 23, we hosted and attended 40 community meetings to gather input from our residents on how we should reshape Riverside. Visit ReshapeRiverside.com to find out more about this process and to learn about Riverside's new ward boundaries. The City Clerk's Office is also responsible for municipal elections, as well as the onboarding and swearing in of all newly elected council members and newly appointed board and commission members. Our office processes all applications for new members and provides annual training for the city's legislative bodies. We provide staff and legislative support for 8 of the city's 18 boards and commissions. The City Clerk's Office also provides agenda processing for city council and committees, as well as the boards and commissions that we support, averaging over 200 agendas processed per year. As the City of Riverside's filing officer, the City Clerk is responsible for processing financial disclosure forms for public officials as well as routing contracts for execution. All this work would not be possible without our dedicated team. City clerks truly are the grease that keep the wheels of municipal government turning, and our office is here to support Riverside's residents by ensuring that the decision-making process is transparent to the public, complies with federal, state, and local regulations, and is properly recorded. If you have a public records request, want to know more about the city's legislative history, or have an interest in running for public office, the Riverside City Clerks team is here for you. To find out more, please visit riversideca.gov/cityclerk.
So today we're standing here in front of the Grandmother's Mural, and this is a mural done by an artist named Denise Silva, who is a fantastic artist in our community. And we found this mural when she submitted it for another proposal. And when the staff saw it, we said this has to go up somewhere in Riverside.
So I was a little intimidated by the just setting in a concept, but I thought this is something that I really wanted to do. And actually, I just felt really called to submit it. I had become a grandmother, and the way the universe works, it sent this quote in my direction, and it was, "When the grandmothers from the four directions speak, a new time is coming." So the four directions are represented by the image of the four grandmothers: Tongva, people of the earth; Liseño, people of the west; Cahuilla, people of the desert; and Serrano, people of the pines.
When the four grandmothers get together, the folklore is that it's winds of change. And what we have done is, so that there is representation all throughout the community, is we have a grandmother at 4 different libraries throughout the community. And so they're all 4 different locations, but they come together here at the main library. And this main library was a big change for the community from what we've had before to what we are now.
Our elders, and them being, people that have given us love, that have protected us, have given us safe spaces. I would love for the community to feel that, because that was an intention that I really put into the work. I really wanted to give our indigenous people of the area, I wanted to give them some representation. I wanted to honor them. I wanted to uplift them. They're a reflection of my own ancestors. They're a reflection of my mother and my grandmothers. And I just hope that other people, especially indigenous people and people of color, see themselves in the art, and they feel seen and they feel honored.
This was the dedication ceremony for Mogori Village, 10 transitional living cottages that will be available for those who have recently been homeless, that are either living in a shelter or a halfway home or something along those lines, that are ready for the next step, but maybe not exactly fully ready to be 100% independent yet.
Well, this is one piece and one of a myriad of solutions that we need to address homelessness in our city. So this housing will support some of the most vulnerable people on our streets. We need more of it, and housing at all different levels of support. So we have to start somewhere, and this is a really awesome start.
The city has a dedicated case manager that will be providing the support for the residents here. And then we also partner with Riverside Housing Development Corporation, who will be the property manager. And they will be making sure that the property is well maintained and making sure everybody's adhering to their lease.
We're talking about people that will come in here probably with nothing. And so they have nothing to furnish with. So our agreement with the City Housing Authority is that we would work at furnishing these homes by leveraging Habitat's relationships with some of our local retailers. Habitat for Humanity's model is built around having volunteer work as the labor to keep the costs down for the project. Finally getting to this spot to where we are very close to having these residents move in.
It's just so beautiful. I think this has beautified the neighborhood in a way that we were expecting, but to see it come to life like this, it's just a great day.
Mulberry Village is a really important, I think, demonstration of the types of diverse housing that we need. We need emergency shelter for people who need to get into a bed at night. We need stable housing to help people get in and stay long term. But we also need what we call transitional housing, which is here. I think we're going to see this as a successful model that we will be able to replicate elsewhere. The public is eager to see this type of thing. Our community wants to see the suffering on our streets stop. And this is one way, and a big way, that we can help them.
The City of Riverside is pleased to announce a new innovative downtown parking program called Parking Your Way. designed to offer more convenient, accessible, and up to 90 minutes free parking in aggregate each day. Parking Your Way will utilize a web app where patrons can select 30 minutes of free parking in a metered on-street space and or 60 minutes free in either a public parking lot or public parking garage. Patrons can conveniently pay and extend their parking needs as well through the web app. Parking Your Way will benefit the Riverside community by enhancing the downtown parking experience, leading to improved quality of life and encouraging patrons to frequent downtown establishments. The web app can be used to select free parking options, pay for parking, and extended parking sessions right from your smartphone. To illustrate how easy the web app is to use, let's demonstrate how a patron would pay for parking in downtown Riverside once they arrive to their parking destination. First, I locate a QR code in the area I'm parking at. I use the camera on my smartphone to scan the QR code. The QR code redirects my smartphone to a web page where I can then enter in my cell phone number. Once done, click Proceed. I'm now able to see the different dates and length of time options in that area. I choose to park my car for about 1 hour and 30 minutes, and I enter in my license plate number. Once completed, I then click Continue. The web app now leads me to a payment page where I enter my credit card information. When done, click Authorize Card. The parking session has now begun. I will receive a text message with the session info. I'm now able to see the parking session, the duration for which I have parked, and the payment that I have authorized for. If you frequent downtown Riverside, it may be best to download the web app and create an account so you don't have to enter all the information each time you park. Parking in downtown Riverside just became easier. This concludes the City of Riverside's parking web app demonstration. Thank you so much.
You see the painted wolf visage at midfield there. We're back at Van Buren and Wood on the campus of Martin Luther King High. My name is Ghazal Hassan. He's Jeff Gorham. We have our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew with us. And the existential question posed by Los Lobos, the 1987 album, how will the Wolves survive? 48-0, the Nighthawks lead in the first half. And obviously, it's a teaching moment. It's a learning experience for Martin Luther King High. I think they're just running into a very good football team in Murrieta Valley.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have really put together one of the finer teams we've seen in this area in many years. This Murrieta Valley is a juggernaut. They've been this way for, a number of years. But King, though, remember, McMains is still in his infancy here at King. He's going to be here, I imagine, until he retires, which is hopefully 20 years from now. They just need to see where the level of competition where they need to be. And obviously, they're going to have to work on some things, but 2 different leagues, 2 different programs. King still is going to be able to play in the other tier of the
Here's league. Dorian Hose. He had 134 yards on 13 carries in the first half and a couple of touchdowns. So he had 2. Correll Thomas, here's a 31-yard touchdown run. So he had one of the touchdowns for Murrieta Valley. Here's Hose's second touchdown run. We already mentioned averaging about 10 yards a pop on the game. And then watch this catch by Jacob Alvarez in the end zone. Wow, the tight end, the transfer from Chaparral. He's headed to San Diego State. And then another catch here by Derek Johnson Jr. for the touchdown. That was a 35-yard catch. And then here's the punt return. We talked about Camden Connor and how good the special teams are for Murrieta Valley. They showed it on this. They turned the ball over previously. Look at this blocking down the field. There's a missed tackle, but some good blocking down the field. And watch this move by Connor at the end to get into the end zone. So he's got a touchdown, and then the coup de grace at the end of the first half. Looked like King moving the football, and there Derek Johnson Jr. just steps in front of the route and a pick 6. 90 yards for Derek Johnson Jr. getting looked at by a number of schools. He's all the way to pay dirt, and that's how it ended. The only blemish was the one PAT missed by Nathan Levitt.
And that was it. I'm telling you, they did not make many mistakes. Defensively, they were phenomenal. That offensive line, that first, the first quarter and a half was unstoppable.
I mean, everyone I talked to has said, I mean, just McMains included, was, their offensive line, they're going to be able to run the football. And, because my question was, okay, no Blake Bachmeyer. And they all kind of said, well, no problem. When you have an offensive line that big and you have that many weapons, you can make up for that. Now, obviously, they're better if he's there.
Yes.
His experience and just kind of the confidence that he's got. But as we said, weapons all over the place on offense, and both lines. It all starts in the trenches. Very good defensive line, very good offensive line, and we're seeing it firsthand tonight.
Yes, we are. I mean, this is a dominant game so far for Marietta Valley. But King, you got 24 minutes left. You got to play maybe certain.
So here's the question. So you're Jason McMains right now. What are you trying to get out of this one?
Well, we're obviously, we're not going to win this ball game, but we can get small victories. Let's work on certain things that we think we need to work on to get better at in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be off next week, so let's if I am McMains, I say let's see what our defense can do. Let's work on passing certain parts of our offense and defense. Maybe win a quarter if you can.
Nathan Levitt with the approach. Doesn't look like we're going to see Derek Kahn the rest of the night.
In fact, I saw Kahn with ice on his ankle, so looks like he's
left the game earlier. Walked off under his own power. Kind of looked like he was doing okay, but obviously with the way the score looks,
yes,
you don't want to risk. I mean, you got next week off. He can rest up, and you'll have him ready for when they start conference play, and it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20. I think one thing he would like to get going, he really would like to see if they can get any kind of running game going against this team. The 3-man front, Manji in the middle, Latua and on the outside, and Al Barron on the near side. So the 3-man front for Marietta Valley. Out of the backfield, get the ball to Galvin. Dancing up at the 20, and he'll be shoved out of bounds there by Isaiah Ayers. And we haven't called Ayers' name a whole lot, but he's a stalwart in that defensive secondary. Returning starter from that team last year that went to the CIF Division II semifinal. Had 9 tackles when these teams played last year. 89 tackles overall last year. Coming into play today, he had 18 tackles, 9 of which were solos. 2nd down, 2-yard pickup on the play. Cuenca in rhythm. Complete. Villarreal twists over the 25. Joey Rodriguez in on the coverage. Help from Darius Johnson. That's Derek's other son. So 2 straight completions for Cuenca. You like to see that.
Yes, you work on aspects of your offense. If we're going to throw the football, let's throw the football. If you're going to run the football.
3rd and 5 coming up. So trying to get a 3rd down conversion here. Play against the game, not the scoreboard right now. Cuenca back over the middle. Good catch. Complete up to the 35-yard line. Reeling it in, Riker Galvin on the coverage, Isaiah Ayers. So to the 33, an 8-yard pickup. That'll be good enough for a 1st down.
It looks like we're going to have a running clock here, second half.
4th catch for Galvin. And then I'd expect to see the Nighthawks pretty vanilla. I don't think they're going to show very much. Maybe if the Wolves can get in the red zone and Al Barron right there to greet Villarreal and kind of tosses him down afterwards. So back to the line of scrimmage. We'll get a look at Daniel DeBana, one of the defensive linemen. As I said, they've rotated about 5 or 6 guys on that front 3 or front 4, depending. A deep linebacker core as well. Cuenca throwing to the outside. And the completion up to about the 34-yard line. Drake makes the catch. Tackle on the play, Joey Rodriguez.
And we'll have another game tomorrow. 2 games tomorrow. Once again, Norte Vista, Granite Hills. And then you and I, Gazal, will be on the call. Polly Ramona, the Solar Series.
Should be fun. I'm guessing you're going to be wearing all your Ramona regalia tomorrow?
No, I think
you're a Hall of Famer.
I should bring my plaque and walk around with my plaque.
3rd and 8. Looking down the field, Galvin is open, but he got bumped. Darius Johnson in on the coverage. Little miscommunication there, 4th down.
Supposed to be running the clock.
Maybe they didn't agree to run the clock. There you go. Norte Vista and Granite Hills will start at 6:45. Norte Vista and Granite Hills starts at 7. I'm remembering back to there's Cuenca's throw, and I made a miscommunication on the route. When Fox was trying to get into the late night game, when they were battling Leno and Letterman, Akutagawa with the punt, fielded at the 38-yard line. And maybe a 5-yard return up to the 43. I remember Fox's big negotiating tack was they were going to start the show 15 minutes early.
Yes.
They were trying to get Letterman to join them, and they said, we'll start at 11:15. That way your monologue will get a jump on Leno. So line from the 43. I don't know if that's what they're doing tomorrow. Give us a jump on Chastain and Nick Rice.
Yeah,
I missed the All Rice broadcast team, though. That's pretty cool. First and
shocked
10.
they are not running the clock.
Give to Waits up the middle. Bulls over midfield into King territory. He'll have a first down.
Ball's carried by number 21, David Waits. Brought down by number 2, RJ.
So they marked him short.
9 yards on the carry.
So 9 yards on the carry. Asher DeWitt back at quarterback. Corral Thomas still in the game. They'll fling to the outside. It's complete. In the open field, Connor Kuba finally comes over and makes the tackle inside the 30. Making the catch for Murrieta Valley, Brandon Ortega. We've seen him quite a bit today.
Down by number 4, Aaron Porter, and number 34, Connor Cuba.
Nice little move here by Ortega. Makes a move on Kute, and then Cuba comes in to make the tackle. They mark down to the 27-yard line. So a 16-yard pickup on the play. First and 10. Give dancing right. Kute in to make the play. Carrying the ball was Jeremiah Watson, the junior, for Murrieta Valley.
And there's our Saturday game. It's 2 p.m. Maryland School for the Deaf versus CSDR.
That'll be you.
Looks like a pickup of 1 yard on the play.
Orioles.
They're the Orioles. The Maryland
Obviously
Orioles.
drawing some inspiration from the baseball franchise. Yes. You'll be on that one. I will not.
I will be on there 2 p.m.
Second and 9 coming up. DeWitt launching. Connor Camden going up for it, incomplete. In on the coverage was Dana Burke for King, and third down coming up. Can we say why John Rice is missing the game tomorrow? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Sure. John Rice is going to visit his buddy, Bill Powell, who's getting a name as the stadium named after him out at San Jacinto.
The Jack.
Put up 30 years as the coach of San Jacinto, and I thought, I got a text from a picture. I thought Bill Powell had passed, and then I didn't have my glasses. I put the glasses on. I noticed
that's Jacob Taddy running up the middle.
They're naming the stadium after him.
That's nice. Yeah, it's funny. You sent me the Instagram post, and you know what? At first glance, I also thought it was an in memoriam post. I texted Coach Powell. He had a good sense of humor about it, luckily.
Yes.
Luckily. But he is out in Henderson now coaching.
Yes, he is. In fact, we're going to go out and visit him on a Thursday night. One of these nights, John Rice are going to drive out and watch Bill Powell. Told me he had the 6th largest video screen in the country.
Out of the backfield, in and out of the hands of Jeremiah Watson. That was the pass from DeWitt. Second down coming up.
So now they're finally running the clock. It's chilly up here.
A little breezy, yeah. Football weather, I like it. the way it should be. 2nd and 10 from the 14. Attempted for Thomas, incomplete, in and out of his hands. Well, if you're Marietta Valley, you're certainly looking to figure out, hey, at quarterback, are we going to go with the two-man platoon? They both look pretty good today, or are they, I'm sure they have criterion they're looking at to see, hey, going forth into Big West upper play, who are we going to start at quarterback?
Yeah, that's the big question. Do you go with it, or I think platoon play also helps because it changes your defense up.
3rd down and 10. DeWitt to play action to the near side, throwing. Complete to the fullback, and he'll rumble down about the 5-yard line. Flag flies in. They really like him. Johnny Fuentes out of the backfield. An illegal block, illegal use of hands. Larry Martinez calling the foul on King. And we were talking to both Jeff Roney before the game and a couple other folks telling us about Fuentes. Hey, watch the big fullback. And I was asking about the tight ends, and they said, well, we got another guy we can throw out there, young Johnny Fuentes.
Well, hey, big Johnny Fuentes is a stud.
Is he a junior or is he a senior? Let's see what Fuentes is. Oh, he's a senior. We can't give him a cool nickname. He'll be gone. A little Tom Rathman look right there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Stumbles, and I guess the Niners have another fullback who wears 44, but to me it'll always be like Tommy Vardell or Tom Rathman, that generation, right? 3rd and 15. 5-yard mark off. Back to the 20-yard line. DeWitt throwing and completing it. That's Ortega down to the 10-yard line. So 4th and 5 coming up. Clock continues to move. So clock continues to run. We're under 5 minutes to play, and Nathan Levitt will attempt a 27-yard field goal here. Try to put up the 50-burger for the Nighthawks. From the 17. No good.
No good.
So ball goes over to King. Nice drive navigated there by Asher DeWitt. And clearly they're looking to evaluate, hey, going forth, which quarterback are we going to use? And I think they're both kind of more classic, kind of drop-back passers.
Yeah, the good thing is you have both of them. You're going to have one for 3 years and another one for 2 more years. They're just good athletes. You look at every position on the field, Marietta Valley has 2 of each.
Always 2 there are, Jeff. No
That's
more,
right.
no less. But, the master there obviously is Bear Bachmeyer. 5,500 passing yards, 1,300 rushing yards, 47 passing touchdowns, 25 rushing touchdowns. What a career he's had. Cuenca looking down the field for Juarez. Did he reel it in? He caught it. 17-yard pickup. And we were talking about what Marietta Valley's going to do. I think Jason McMahon's going to be looking at some things with his quarterback. Just a second start for Cuenca on the year, Jeff.
Yeah, and Cuenca's going to get a lot better. He said he's played his first game against Poly last week, and I tell you, he's getting thrown to the Wolves here. I should say
to the Nighthawks.
Nighthawks. Pretty quickly.
Cover in motion. Play action, looking down the field. Looking for Galvin. One-on-one coverage down the field. Isaiah Ayers on the coverage. Now, it's interesting because, King looked like they're going to be a pretty good offensive team overall. Obviously tonight didn't work out. I really wanted to see we did see the defense. For Marietta Valley, how they would play him, and we know Derek Johnson a long time and know that he knows the game really well. 2nd and 10 from the 35. Out of the backfield to Brian Robinson, and coming up and making the hit, Dylan Gray. So third down coming up. But, I mean, all the coaches that we know, Jeff, on the defensive side, right? So Derek is the defensive coordinator. We talked to Jeff Roney, linebacker coach. I think Jeff Huerta is doing the defensive lineman, correct?
He is. I saw him out there. I didn't get a chance to say hello to him. There were so many coaches I knew out there.
Longtime head coach at Riverside Poly, and then he was over at Rancho Verde for a little bit. He was at Norco for a little bit. And now with George Wilson at Murrieta Valley. Third down coming up. Got some time looking down the field. One-on-one, incomplete.
Pass is incomplete. Brings up 4th and 7.
Makai Chris on the coverage there against Juarez. And fourth down, a punt team comes out. The star of the game right now for us has been Lucas Akutagawa.
He's been getting kicks off at least.
I mean, you know how it works is that when you get into league play and you get into the postseason, you know, a good punter can be a weapon. Akutagawa on the short hop. High kick, short kick, but a high kick and out of bounds. And it won't look good on the stat sheet, but he did get it away. And it'll be first down from the 41-yard line for Murrieta Valley. We talked a lot last year about catching the punts. And, I know you had some fun with Ken Batdorf about that. And, part of it was us having fun, but part of it was I watched an interview with Bill Parcells talking about, I forget if it was the 90 or the 86 when they were in the NFC Championship against Washington, how they had a 100-yard difference because Phil McConkey caught the punts and the Washington returner did not.
And remember, 2 or 3 years ago, they weren't catching punts. Remember, Pete,
No.
They weren't even sending guys out there.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're back to catching and getting those yards. I mean,
obviously, if you have a guy like Connor, it's great. Murrieta has a guy who can return it. But at the very least, you want a guy who can play center field and just catch the punts so you don't lose 10, 15 yards on bounces. First and 10 from the 41. Thomas with the tote. Up onto that painted wolf visage near midfield. About 6 yards on the play. Cuba still in there. Connor Cuba, the starting linebacker, makes the tackle for Martin Luther King High. Clock still ticking down. And those are the little things that make the difference going forth. We had Hillcrest. They lost an overtime playoff game. Obviously, Martin Luther King, we don't need to tell them about how close they were a smidgen away from going to a CIF final.
It hit the upright, the crossbar.
Isaiah back in there trying to hit Ortega. Incomplete. Remember, the defense for the Wolves playing without Victor Gomez today. That was Jorge Rodriguez on the coverage. And not that it made a huge difference, but I know Rich Martinez, your good friend, he thinks the world. He thinks Gomez is going to be a real impact player for King.
Well, I tell you what, you watch those guys in practice. I drive by here every day, and sometimes I stop and watch these guys practice. They go really, really hard every single day.
Slashing right up the middle is Watson, and Watson to the house. 53 yards, Jeremiah Watson. The house call for him. Touchdown, Murrieta Valley. Just found the hole in the middle, Jeff, and ran to the green. Elementary.
Yeah, that was just a great run.
On the third down play, big hole up the middle. Levitt swings the leg. And we are to Sammy Hagar. Shout out to Fontana High. 55-0. Murrieta Valley leads King. We got a quarter to go, Jeff.
55. Wow.
And he went to the space. Watson, a junior, he's back next year. Hose will be gone. Thomas will be gone. So you'll get an opportunity next year.
Yeah, that was just a great run right up the. Right
listen,
up the middle.
It all starts with the big boys up front, and they're getting pushed all night. Amatu Ayanu, who's the left tackle, he's a D1 prospect. Austin Russell, the left guard. Andrew Nichols, the center, going to Michigan State. Dylan Silliman, Luke Kingman, the big boys up front.
And they have youngsters.
2 juniors, 3 seniors.
Wow.
Of course, Luke Kingman reminds me of, from our childhood, the great Dave Kingman. They called him Kong.
Oh, yes, they did.
He hit some home runs. Nathan Levitt.
Hey, what are your thoughts on that Otani guy today?
It's pretty good.
What, 6 for 6?
Pretty good. 6 for 6, 3 bombs, couple stolen bases, 50-50 man. Juarez from the 2. Gets to the outside. All the way across the field, pushed out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. I want to say that was making the tackle for, it's Makai Chris making the tackle. That'll be the end of the third quarter. 55-0. Marietta Valley put up a touchdown in the third quarter, that late touchdown run by Watson. And so King will start it off here, 1st and 10, and you just try to learn something from this and move on. That's a look at the Marietta Valley sideline.
These are one of those games you kind of want to forget.
Yeah, you forget about it. You throw the film away. Well,
yeah.
You don't throw the film away because you want to look at stuff. Hopefully you can pick something up or learn something tonight that maybe can help you down the road.
Yeah, that's the key thing is you don't want you don't want a loss like this to affect you negatively. You don't want to hang your head. You're just playing.
Now let me ask you, because you were a coach. They have next week off. Going into the bye week, is this something you might ruminate on?
I hope, like Coach McMains, I know him well. I'm sure he's going to say we're going to take this game. We just played against a superior team, but the question is, how do you rebound after a loss like this?
Galvin,
you can hang your head,
yeah,
or you can keep your chin up and get after it. Get better every game.
Galvin, 18 yards. Cedric Dunklin Jr. pushes him out of bounds, and 1st and 10. Galvin, his 5th catch on the evening. Another completion. 8th completion for Cuenca. Go to Galva again, incomplete.
And they have played some tough games. King played North pretty tough, or North played King pretty tough, and then the Poly game.
And I wonder if that worked against them, because they came out of the chute with the win against Roosevelt, then they shut out Kaiser, and they played those 2 rivalry games, which I think a little bit, they kind of controlled the game against North, but North kept it close, and then last week, really it came down to special teams against Poly.
That's exactly what it came down to.
But definitely Marietta Valley announcing their presence with authority tonight in Riverside. Villarreal up the middle. Dosey Dode down. Escorting him down to the turf is Landon Nagy.
Brought down by number 51, Landon Nagy. To pick up a 3 yards on the play, 3rd and 7.
There's Villarreal looking back. Yeah, runs right into Nagy's bear hug there. Right on that painted wolf visage in midfield. Nice look. 3rd down. Give to Villarreal. We'll have the 1st down. Surges forward to the 45-yard line.
Ball's carried by number 22, Noah Villarreal. Brought down by number 95, that is Seth Lopez.
But I am looking forward to seeing this King team play in their conference.
It should be interesting.
It should be very interesting.
Is Great Oak still the favorite? Because I know they lost to Novi.
I'm not too sure who the favorite is now.
They've kind of been at the top of that league the last couple of years.
Maybe Mesa. Mesa, they had a pretty tough schedule preseason.
They always do that.
Yeah.
Oscar McBride he does what he does. From the 44 of Murrieta Valley, 1st and 10. Juarez split out to the near side. Galvin in the near slot. They'll fling it out to Juarez, and he'll be dragged down after a nominal gain. Making the tackle, Cameron Armstrong. So 2nd down coming up. And you see what they're trying to do and get Cuenca into that throwing motion. We always talk about, hey, get the ball. I mean, this is Jason McMahon's thing.
Yeah.
Hey, get it out quick because you want the playmakers on the outside to have the advantage. And that goes back to when he was at Notre Dame. As the offensive coordinator. Galvin far slot, split out to the near side. Juarez. Split out to the far side. That's Akutagawa playing some wide receiver. Sitting down in the seam, making the catch, is Preston Fox.
So Akutagawa getting his shot.
So Dunklin Jr. with the tackle. 13-yard pickup on the play. Good pitch and catch to Fox from Cuenca. And you never know what you can pick up.
See, these are the spots, too, where guys that normally might not get to play, you might find a diamond in the rough. You might find a kid that you see in practice every day and you go, I don't know, but there's guys that are just gamers.
Rolling right to Cuenca. Flings it down the field, incomplete. Nice play defensively there. Tony Cook with the defensive play in the secondary for Murrieta Valley. I mean, and you were a coach, so you understand this. Sometimes, no matter what you see in practice, it's tough to evaluate unless you're watching them at game speed.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of guys that were not great practice guys. You put them into the game and something clicks. I think Coach McMains now is thinking, hey, I just want to make sure we get everybody out of here without getting hurt.
Right, that's the main decision here.
And, you have Kahn who hurt his ankle. Hopefully he'll be back. And
Fox with the catch inside the 10. Good pitch and catch. Armstrong makes the tackle for Murrieta Valley. So inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal. And Cuenca kind of finding rhythm. Remember, just his 2nd game, did not play in the first 3. Trying to figure out some rhythm. Poly did a good job. They had a very good front as well last week. So he's played 2 very good defensive fronts in the 2 weeks that he's been active. Cover in motion. Cuenca looking near side. Completes to Villarreal. He'll be stopped inside the 5. That's Armstrong again with the tackle. So call it about a 7-yard pickup. He'll get down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, if they can score here, hey, they can win the 4th. I mean, they're minor victories, but love to see them get on the board.
And to be fair, I think George Wilson and his team, they're just trying to get out. They don't want anybody hurt either.
I agree 100%.
One of those tough games. Game kind of gets away from you a little bit. It's hard to adhere to a game plan. 2nd and goal from the 2. Throw to the outside. That's a touchdown. That's Jaden Cover to pay dirt. His 2nd touchdown reception on the season. So the Wolves find pay dirt for the first time with 5 minutes to play in this one. They are on the board.
Well, that is great to see. You got to be feeling good right now if you are the King team on the bench or on the field, I should say.
I mean, when I talk with Jason McMains about Jaden Cover, he said, "Hey, this is a young guy. He's a junior, but first kind of real varsity experience. He did have 3 catches last year as Akutagawa on for the PAT, and it's blocked. So these are the things you'll look at. You want to be able to have the PAT team kind of go off without a hitch like it just did. Here's the whole drive. The completion to Fox, which gets them 1st and goal. And then this one to Villarreal. Gets him down inside. And then the completion here to Jaden Cover. Cover with the touchdown. Yeah, there he is. And maybe it's Cover. I think it's Cover. But I say Cover for Franklin Cover.
Yes.
Who has played Tom Willis on the Jeffersons. Had a very seminal part in the 87 Oliver Stone film Wall Street as well, as Akutagawa comes to kick it away. Under 4 minutes to play, fielded about the 16-yard line. Racing up the middle. That's Connor still in the game. Camden Connor into King territory.
Kickoff's returned by number 11, Cam Connor.
They'll mark it to the 42-yard line of King, and good field position coming up for the Nighthawks.
Cam Connor.
And so the call of the Nighthawk ringing out throughout the stadium.
What does the call sound like?
It's like they call it a caw.
A caw.
You know, kind of like a crow a little bit.
I saw a vulture in my neighborhood yesterday.
You know, I read something that vultures are good.
They are?
Yeah, it's like like from an environmental standpoint. They're like if vultures were to be extinct, we'd be in trouble apparently.
All I know is I saw one flying over my house. I said, that's one ugly buzzard. Huh?
The give to Waits running left.
Ball's carried by number 21. That's David Waits.
So Waits over the 40 to the 39-yard line as the clock continues to move. Running clock here in the second half. Marietta Valley very much in control, and you know they look to be in good shape right now going forward to their Big West Upper. They have one more non-league game to go before league play starts.
Do we know who they play?
Give up the middle, the 35-yard line.
Number 2, Derek Johnson. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, text your parents whether you're expecting a ride or not. Because
I don't have who they play. I usually normally do have it. I didn't know George Wilson, after he took over, they've now been in the CIF playoffs 8 straight years. Of course, if we don't count 2020, there was no playoffs that year.
That's right.
So this is his 11th year, and they've been in the playoffs 8 straight years. Missed his first year and then 8 straight playoff appearances, not counting 2020. Another run for Watson. And Watson into the end zone for a touchdown. 35-yard touchdown run, his second trip to Paters. He went up the middle the first time. He took the left side this time.
And, I mean, these guys, they're just so fast. We talked to the coaches before the game. He said, hey, they got 4 or 5 backs. We've seen them all tonight, and they've all been fantastic.
They will take on the Tritons of San Clemente next week. So, and that was the team in 2016 when Marietta Valley made the CIF final. They played and lost to San Clemente. Yeah, and they get into their schedule, their conference schedule. So 62-6 as Nathan Levitt makes it a 56-point advantage. And I think that'll be about it. I think we may get the kickoff here, but that'll be about it. And another look at the run by Watson. Running the left side. And I want to give the blockers credit. The 2 big boys out front, Keegan Hauer and Vince Guerrero, opening the hole for the touchdown. And they'll just let the clock expire here. Big win for the Nighthawks, Jeff, 62-6. And the handshakes coming up, and a learning experience for the Wolves tonight.
Well, yeah, it is a learning experience. I mean, you just came up across a team that is just, they're just head and shoulders above anybody we've seen here in the city. And it just shows you, that's how tough the league is right above you. And I know Coach McMains, he wants to be at this level, and I'm sure he will be. It's just going to take some time. And the players who played in this game are going to realize, hey, we have to get better, and in order to do so, we got to do what these guys do. You got to live in a weight room. You got to do what you have to do to get better every single year.
Yeah, a very talented team, despite the fact they're playing without Bear Bachmeyer, and I'm sure that's a point that Coach McMains will bring up. He goes, hey, they potentially didn't have their best player. It didn't matter to them. Yeah. We got to be the same way.
Yeah, exactly. And playing without your best player, this just shows you how deep this Marietta Valley team is and how good they can be. And without Bear Bachmeyer, there still has a shot, as I think they'll give Centennial everything they can give them.
Well, kudos to the Nighthawks tonight. They come away the victors here, 62-6. Just a reminder, doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have 6:45 Ramona and Poly, and then at 7 o'clock it'll be Norda Vista Granite Hills, 11 p.m. Of course, as always, the Friday night pep rally, and then bonus coverage on Saturday. I won't be on the call, but Jeff Gorham will be. 2 p.m. It is California School for the Deaf taking on the Maryland School for the Deaf. Correct, the Orioles.
That will be the big one. They've lost 3 in a row. They're going to win one on the home turf.
Final score tonight from Martin Luther King High on Van Buren and Wood. For Jeff Gorham, my name is Giselle Hassan. I want to acknowledge our entire award-winning Riverside TV crew. The Nighthawks 62, the Wolves 6. Until next time, so long, everybody.